Whoa. I was going to mess with two mics, but I'm not going to do that. Instead, let's do some rhyming and ripping. Let's think, contemplate, and listen. I don't know what I was saying. If it made any complaining, I apologize, and I'm laying out what I'm talking about. What it is, though, what's up, don't know. I can't concentrate on two things at the same time, but I used to know how to drink Bud Light Lemon Lime. I think it was just lime, Bud Light Lime. Is that what it was? I think it was. What's the buzz? I don't know, cuz I'm really stalling. I might be appalling, but I don't give a shit. Some people call me Paul and Tony, but no one knows I'm Poppy from the Popcorn Poppin' your way, homie. Yo, what it's about? It's about talking about TVs and movies. A lot, but I pronounce it a lot so I can make it rhyme all the time. I didn't know that I could do this on a dime, but instead give me a nickel if you'd like, because I'm a cheap ass motherfucker and I'm out of sight. Like the movie with George Clooney and J-Lo. Oh, she ain't a hoe though. She make a ho holla for $1. Look at me, my name's Walter White. I'm the one who knocks all night at your door. Oh, now you hit the floor, cause I got the box cutter. Wait a minute, that was Gus Fring. I forgot him. All right, I think that's enough. So we won't get all the we're not gonna get all the things, and by things I mean we're not gonna get all the banners. That's the word I'm looking for. Banners. Bands will make them dance. Just type this one last thing. Okay. Back there. All right. I guess that's that. We'll have to see how the show goes. And you knows. I know how to rhyme. Okay, no more of that. No more of that. I'm done. I'm sorry to put you through it. But I had no choice. I had to try it at least once. All right. I don't know how I'm going to be framed either, so let's just see how it goes. Guess I should put this away. I kind of want to see if this will work. Let's see if we can get two different cameras. Huh. We'll find out. All right. Let's do it.
Yo, what up, Bryce? What's up? Why you look so down?
Man, my Saturday night plans just got ruined. I don't know what to do now.
You know what? I think I can fix that.
How?
You should come to Watch Party on Saturday night at 10:30. It's free.
Free?
I just fucking said that, dude. God damn.
Watch Party for educational purposes.
Honey, I'm home from work.
Oh, I have to tell you about something Jimmy told me about at the playground.
Little Jimmy?
Yeah, little Jimmy. He told me about this thing called Watch Party.
Oh no, they were talking about that at the water cooler today.
I'm so worried. What have you heard about it?
Well, I heard that it was a lot of like-minded people showing up to watch educational video.
No, I heard they have snacks.
Free snacks and drinks is what I heard as well.
That's how they get you. And you know what? I'm sure it's gonna be expensive.
Actually, I heard it was free.
I heard free is a gateway drug.
You know what? This watch party thing doesn't sound so bad.
No, not another one.
Watch Party for educational purposes.
Hello and welcome back to Popcorn Poppin' Live. I am your host, the Popcorn Poppy. We gather here every week to discuss the fact that there's too much content in the world and you can't be wasting your time figuring out what to watch. So let me waste my time for you by watching all that is looking slightly interesting and letting you know what is popping and what ain't. You think I'd have that memorized and down after all these weeks, all these years, really. I've really been doing this for years. Tonight, we're going to be talking about a movie and a TV show, along with some other news and other movies and TV shows. But first, let's talk about one show in general. Instead of a Limelight shows, we're going to talk about a Limelight show, singular. There's only one new one that I was interested in, and that was Lady in the Lake with Natalie Portman. And do I have her name written down? I don't think I do. Yeah, I do. Moses Ingram. Moses Ingram, she's been in a couple things, but one thing that you may know her from specifically is Obi-Wan. Was it Obi-Wan? I actually can't remember already. Moses Ingram is the Lady in the Lake, and you may know Natalie Portman. Yes, she is from... Is she from Obi-Wan? Yeah, she's from Obi-Wan Kenobi, excuse me, and from Queen's Gambit as well. Oh, and Ambulance as well. All right, she's been having a pretty good career, and the tragedy of Macbeth. Anyways, when the disappearance of a young girl grips the city of Baltimore on Thanksgiving 1966, the lives of two women converge on a fatal collision course. Maddie Schwartz, a Jewish housewife seeking to shed a secret past and reinvent herself as an investigative journalist. Really? Okay. We hadn't gotten that far. We're only 2 episodes in, and I didn't see the investigative journalist bit. And Cleo Johnson, a mother navigating the political underbelly of Black Baltimore while struggling to provide for her family. Their disparate lives seem parallel at first, but when Maddie becomes fixated on Cleo's mystifying death, a chasm opens that puts everyone around them in danger. Yeah, it's pretty good. Poppin'. Oh, we're starting a new system, guys, and we have a new thing. Look at this. We got new stopper. Time stopper. We have a new time stopper. Isn't that exciting? So if I go, when we hear this, that means wrap it up. So we got 30 minutes. And we have a new rating system. I should have included that in here, but we'll go over more of that next week. And we'll go over poppin' questions next week as well, maybe. Sorry about that, Roxy. That's only if I remember. So if I don't remember, you make sure you comment. And even if I do remember, make sure you comment. In fact, everybody comment at once and comment on this. Look at this. I got a new camera angle. A new camera angle? Oh, okay. Look at that. Woo! All right. Oh, God. All right. I just wanted to see what that looked like. We went over it. Okay. We'll fuck with that some other time, but we can have 2 different camera angles, so that's kind of cool. Lady in the Lake is an interesting mystery, and it does a lot of good jobs at editing, specifically jumping between Natalie Portman's story and Moses Ingram's story, and doing a juxtaposition of cross-cutting between something that is violent and something that is happy, or vice versa, or other emotions or scary moments or happy moments or sexual moments, and showing other scenes at the same time. For instance, you may see a scene of Natalie Portman having sex while having Moses Ingram's character be behind the seat of a car and being scared at someone murdering someone else, all while playing really, really good. It has a dope soundtrack, music from the 60s. So they do a really good job with music, excellent job with acting. The writing is okay. We do see 2 different cultures, so that's kind of cool to see how they clash, especially with the cross-cutting. The editing is my favorite part of the show, and I'm a big Natalie Portman fan. Maybe not that big, although I watch everything she does, so I guess I'm a pretty big fan. So, poppin' or not, we have a small burnt popcorn. That's not what this rating is. We have a small popcorn, we have a medium popcorn, we have a large popcorn, and we have a buttery large popcorn. Those are for like the best movies, and this is for the worst movies. I'd give this a medium. I feel like I need something between medium and large. So maybe a medium with 1 free refill. That's what I'd give this movie, or this television series. I mean, this mini series. It is very good. It is very interesting, but will I keep watching? Yes, I will. I just don't know how I'm going to think about it overall, because I did find myself tuning out a lot in the second half. I mean, the second episode.
So check it out yourself. It's on Apple TV Plus. New episodes out on, I believe, Fridays. I didn't write down the days. I apologize. But check out the first 2 episodes on Apple TV Plus right now. We'll go over the next episode next week. And there's only one new movie that really interested me that is out in theaters right now, and that is Come On, baby, now. Come on and work it on now. Oh, that twisty little girl. You know you twist so fine. You know you got me going now. Please don't flag my video live. Woo. Twisters. I mean, it's the sequel to Twister. I'm not going to go over what the plot is, except to remind you that Daisy Edgar Jones and Glenn Powell are the stars. Oh, and Anthony Ramos, a.k.a. Kevin Ramos and Anthony Wellman combined. Poppin' or not, I will say, I will give this a solid. I want to give it a small. Small seems so negative. We need more sizes. I'll give this a small with a couple of refills, or a solid medium, somewhere in between there. So here's what I liked about it. Let's start with the things I liked about it. The action scenes were really good, particularly in 2 scenes. One near a pool where they try to duck and cover, and the other is the fantastic ending where they deal with an F5 tornado. The main star is Daisy Edgar Jones. In fact, you don't see Glenn Powell until further into the film. Comparing it to the first film, which you have no choice but to do, which is a big problem with films in general. And I would say that's one thing that's kind of cool about Twister, to be called Twisters. They advertise it with twins. We got twins. And I was like, yeah, there were several different tornadoes in the first one. Is the gimmick of the second one that there's more than one? No, there's only one scene where there's twins, and it's not that big of a deal. In fact, there are several scenes in this movie where tornadoes aren't a big deal, and that's my biggest gripe with it. They romanticize tornadoes so much that none of them are scary except for the beginning one, which I think turns into an F5, and the final scene, which is an F5. In the first film, which starred Bill Paxton and Helen Hunt, we have them releasing a machine called Dorothy that releases tiny little balls that fly into the air and give data to computer nerds that like to chase the weather, even though that seems like a pretty dope thing to do, like Glenn Powell would do, or Bill Paxton, or Philip Seymour Hoffman. Don't forget, he was in that movie as well. Anyways, in the first film, the civilization of the world could only find out about tornadoes 5 minutes ahead of time. With the technology that they're trying to accomplish as the goal of the first film, they can find out 15 minutes from now, saving many lives because it gives you a lot more time to evacuate. In Twisters, Daisy Edgar Jones is trying to fucking stop tornadoes with similar technology. And Glenn Powell is like a YouTube guy, YouTube cowboy man who is trying to just get views. He drives into tornadoes and he justifies not flying away by drilling his truck into the dirt. And there's a couple scenes specifically in the middle of the film where it's kind of a montage of Edgar Jones and Powell, the boy and the girl, the couple, doing romantic stuff like chasing tornadoes and laughing along the way, but never being scared. Maybe she's a little frightened, but he helps her with the frightenedness by saying, come on now, you got to tame it. They say something over. Chase it. You chase it, tame it. I can't remember what the tagline was. Someone help me. I know one of you have seen this. So they try to tame it and they romanticize it a bit. Now, the reason I won't, you know what? I will definitely not say small because I walked out of the movie with kind of a bad taste in my mouth because I wanted to see a movie where the whole time I'm on the edge of my seat. I rewatched Twister and it was way better than I remember when I was a kid. It was my favorite time viewing it today. So I was like, holy shit, especially for 1996 standards. It was a really good disaster film. And there was so many wild things in it that I didn't remember, that I was expecting a lot of wild things to happen in Twisters, but it was definitely more of a character driven film rather than an action-driven film. And that's why I was disappointed. I wanted to go see something a little more suspenseful, and instead I got something a little more about getting over your fears, facing your fears, chasing your dreams, and twirling up in the sky whilst doing so. Anthony Ramos is really good in it. Glenn Powell is dope. Daisy Edgar Jones is good. I don't know if I love Daisy Edgar Jones, but she has a really good scene at the end where it's her versus a tornado. And for that, I thought it was super, super cool. And that final sequence is really edge of your seat type shit. The pool scene was really good. I know I said that already, but it's just those scenes were really, really good. I didn't care for the opening scene, though. Anyways, I would give it a medium corn. I will say, you know, it's a weather film, and weather films should be seen in the theaters. Should you see this in the theater? Sure, if you're looking for a date movie, I would say this is a great date movie for sure. But I was kind of like rolling my eyes at a lot of scenes because, again, it's character driven and it's written well for those romantic scenes chasing the tornadoes. It's just, I don't want to see you being like, oh, okay, let's go. I want to see you be like, all right, here we go. Like, I want you to be a little scared about I want you to fucking get me scared. And I wasn't scared. I was just like watching two people having fun whilst country music will be playing. And maybe that was another reason that I looked down upon it a little bit too. I don't love country music, and this soundtrack is country music. I never looked it up, but I believe it's original songs that are made by country stars for the film, which I think is cool. It's a direction to go to, kind of like Black Panther going in the Kendrick Lamar route, which makes sense. And this makes sense too, specifically with Glenn Powell's theme of a tornado riding cowboy on YouTube. So it fit, and they took a direction. No negatives about it, except for my own personal negative, and that is I'm not a big fan of country music. But I respected the fact that you leaned into country music to help get a specific type of tone and also probably cater to a specific type of audience. And I think that that works. Oh, one thing to mention is in the first film, in fact, you know what? I'm going to mention this in a second. So, medium poppin', see it in theaters for two specific scenes, but roll your eyes if you don't like romantic shit or like, oh, I'm never going to get over this. You got to get over it, Daisy Edgar Jones. Oh, but I watched my friends die. Hey, just come help me tame these tornadoes. Oh, but my friends. Hey, leave her alone. She watched her friends die. Spoiler alert. I mean, come on. So people die, you know? All right. That leads us to our poppin' topic of the evening. Bad weather movies. Dun dun. I need sound effects in this. What do I mean by bad weather movies? Do I mean weather movies that are bad, or do I mean what bad weather? The movie. The second one. That's what I mean. I like movies that are disaster films because I don't want to live through that. I want to watch it though, because they're from the comfort of my own home or from the comfort of a movie theater. What other bad weather films are there? Michigan doesn't see bad weather as often. We see a lot of snow. We see a lot of rain. Sometimes we see tornadoes. It's very, very rare. But when do we see it on screen, and when is it good? I'll tell you when. We kind of discussed it before. But Twister, the original, Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton. It was super dope. My favorite scene was when the cow was flying through the air. Very, very iconic scene. And I think that the movie would still do very well at the box office, but I think the cow helped. They bought the cow, and they could have referenced it a little bit in Twisters, and they do not. The thing that they do reference, though, is there's a scene in Twister where the drive-in theater is playing The Shining, you know, a horror movie. And the most iconic scene in The Shining is, here's Johnny, and the Twister takes it away. There's a movie theater scene in the end of Twisters that shows Frankenstein, and during a very iconic scene, I won't spoil it for you, the screen gets taken by the Twister. So I thought that was really cool. Watch this right now on Max. You should, I would say, watch this after watching Twisters. You do not need to watch Twister first to understand Twisters. And you're not going to see Helen Hunt. Bill Paxton, RIP. In case you guys didn't know, Bill Paxton passed away. Great, great actor. And he's so good in it. And the other thing about, I'm almost done with Twisters. It's the main topic of the night. I can go on a little bit up for it. I still got 18 minutes. I'm not going to talk about it for 18 minutes. Just give me 6 more sentences. As you guys know, I love one-day movies. I'm sure I did a PopCorn Poppin live episode on it in the past, and that means a movie that takes place in one day. Twister takes place in the span of 24 hours, which is really, really cool for all the action that happens. Twisters takes place in the span of a week. That's why there's so many rolling eye things, and that's why Twister is much more on the edge of your seat, because they're trying to figure out how to do this goal within a certain time frame. You put a time limit on in any movie to reach the overall goal of it, I think that it's more enticing to watch. So check out Twister on Max. The director of it is Jan de Bont, who directed Speed and Speed 2 and The Haunting and Lara Croft Tomb Raider 2, which I actually enjoyed. He was also cinematographer for Hunt for Red October, Cujo, Basic Instinct, and Die Hard. A little friendly fact for you. All right, back to bad weather movies in general. A classic, the one I always think of, now I'll always think of Twister, but the one that I think everyone thinks of is Day After Tomorrow, which you can watch on Disney Plus right now. Jack Hall, a paleoclimatologist, that's a word, must make a daring trek from Washington, D.C. to New York City to reach his son, trapped in the crosshairs of a sudden international storm, which plunges the planet into a new ice age. This stars Dennis Quaid, Emmy Rossum, and a young Jake Gyllenhaal before he really blew up. I don't know what movie he blew up in. I think this was his blow-up movie, to be honest. Super fun, super fun. It's climate change, people. It's scary, and this movie helps it be more scary. We need to come out with more movies like this. I think that would make us go a little more green. Next, George Clooney and Mark Wahlberg star in the George Clooney, Mark Wahlberg, The Perfect Storm, and Diane Lane and John C. Reilly star in an unusually intense storm pattern that catches some commercial fishermen unaware and puts them in mortal danger. This is based off of a true story, which you can rent right now. Very fun movie. If you're a George Clooney fan, you're gonna love it. Not an upbeat ending. Crawl. You could call this more of a creature feature, but it has 2 very scary things that are happening at the same time to poor Chaos Caudelario, where gigantic alligators swarm around a young woman and her father as flood waters engulf their home. So I remember as the movie progressed, I remember checking this movie out, and I think I talked about it on this show. When the movie progressed, I'm like, I know an alligator shows up in this movie, but this is pretty cool with just the flood in general. I forgot an alligator would eventually show up, and all of a sudden they're dealing with alligators during this giant hurricane. It's a wild movie, and you're like, they're not, even if they get out of this house and get away from the alligators, how are they going to get out of this flood? It's wild, man. It's a wild boy. It's a wild boy of a film. You can rent Crawl. I highly recommend renting it. The Impossible. Call me, beat me if you want to reach me. No, it's not okay, because I'm not talking about Kim Possible. I'm talking about Impossible with Ewan McGregor, Naomi Watson, and young Lil Tom Holland playing a family who is caught in the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami. When the tsunami actually takes the beach, it is a wild scene. Everything thereafter is still very well made, and it's still like, wow, this is scary. This sucks. But the tsunami wave scene is crazy. You can rent this as well. Oh, there's Paramount Plus, and there's Paramount Plus with Showtime. You can check this out on Paramount Plus with Showtime. Hard Rain with Christian Slater and Morgan Freeman. The partner and nephew of an armored truck driver tries to prevent $3 million from being taken by a gang during a catastrophic flooding caused by a severe storm. Pluto. You can watch this on Pluto. I don't remember this movie very well, but I remember loving it when I was a kid. I watched it a few years ago, and I love it still. Or I loved it still, even though I still forgot it. But you can check out Hard Rain on Pluto TV. 2012, also directed by Roland Emmerich, who did Day After Tomorrow. He also did Pompeii, which I guess you can call a bad weather movie. Did he do Pompeii? I don't know. He did Independence Day. He loves disaster films. Well, he did a John Cusack director. He also did a John Cusack director. There's a tongue twister for you. Ready? He also did a John Cusack disaster film called 2012, about a frustrated writer who struggles to keep his family alive when a series of global catastrophes threaten to annihilate mankind. This had to do with the Mayan calendar. Remember that scare? That happened. That was a thing. I think they're only off by like 40 years. God willing. You can check this out on Disney Plus. It's a fun movie. I mean, disaster-wise, fun. It's fun like you're watching a movie and bad things are happening, but it's fun. Next, Poseidon. Now I'm talking about the 2006 Poseidon. This is the remake of the Poseidon Adventure or Poseidon Adventures. I actually did not, the Poseidon Adventure. I did not watch the original one. It's way higher rated than this one, and apparently the internet doesn't like this one. I love this movie. I thought it was super dope. And even though it's about what happens after one storm in the beginning, maybe not even a storm, just a wave, it's not exactly a bad weather movie. It's just water. When I think water, I think weather and a glass of. But on New Year's Eve, the luxury ocean liner Poseidon capsizes after being swamped by a rogue wave. The survivors are left to fight for their lives as they attempt to escape the sinking ship. This stars Kurt Russell, Emmy Rossum, Josh Lucas, Richard Dreyfuss, and Kevin Dillon, and Andre Braugher, and Fergie. I don't remember Fergie in this at all, but you can check this out on Disney Plus right now. I love it. If you've seen Poseidon Adventure, let me know because I do want to watch it because I really like this movie. I haven't seen it in years, but I definitely want to watch it again. There's something I like about this show. I bring up movies I haven't seen in a long time, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe I want to watch that again. Maybe I will. Maybe I will. And last but certainly not least, this isn't just one movie, but it's several movies, and you could say it's not real weather unless it could happen someday. All of the Godzillas is. You can watch the original old ones along with a mixture of new ones as well on Max. You can watch Godzilla -1 on Netflix, and Prime has some as well. All right, let's get to some news. All sources are provided by Variety, Deadline, and Hollywood Reporter. So shout out to you, Internet. RIP to Bob Newhart. I only seen him in things like Elf and Catch-22 for small roles, but he was most famously known for the Bob Newhart Show and Newhart, I believe the show was called. I didn't watch either of them, and apparently they were like very, very important to the comedy television scene, to be honest, and deadpan delivery. So I'm seen his deadpan delivery before, but not on his most famous medium of television. But RIP nonetheless. Next, are the Russos coming back to the MCU? Son of a bitch. I lost my script. Stand by. I think it's a big story too, although it's just a rumor. But I've been seeing this rumor a lot recently. As we know, the MCU has been revamping a bunch of things, and they did get rid. I don't know. I think they got rid of not Daniel Day Kim. That's from Lost. They got rid of the guy that was supposed to do the new Avengers movies, and they're wondering, well, who's going to direct them now? They were talking about Sean Levy. In fact, I'm pretty sure Sean Levy, who's doing Deadpool and Wolverine, is more of a front runner than the Russos, but apparently they're going to be announcing some stuff, of course. And one of the things that Deadline specifically thinks that they're going to announce is that the Russos are going to be brought into the fold. Sources believe that they are going to be at least executive producing the new films, which I think is a good idea. And I'm not talking executive produce, like just put our names on it and people go see it. Like, MCU needs guidance, and I think the Russos are okay to lead some guidance, not bury back up Iron Man. Don't bury old shit. Let's look at the future and change shit, but do it in the direction of which we're familiar with. That way we can have a better fucking multiverse. So nothing's confirmed, but if you hear that the Russos are coming back, you heard it here first. Next. This is the new popcorn bucket for Alien Romulus, which is coming out August 16th. Super stoked. Not stoked for the popcorn bucket. I wish I started collecting the popcorn buckets because I think it's a cool collection to make. But once I missed my window for the Dune bucket, I figured there's no point. Anna Faris may come back to the scary movies. This is for 2 conditions, and 2 conditions alone. She would love to work with Regina, of course. Regina Hall was in, I think, all the ones that she were in, maybe minus 1. I love Regina Hall, so I see why she's like, Regina Hall has to come back, and then I'll do the scary movies. Do it, Regina Hall, and do it, Anna Faris. But maybe not. I don't know. I miss spoof movies. It's just they got so bad. It's because they cared a lot less about the writing. I think spoof is fun, though. Please do it. Please do it. But you don't have to bring Anna Faris and Regina Hall back. That'd be fun. And I can't see why you wouldn't. Bring the Wayans back to do it. What have they been doing besides Marlon doing stand-up? How to lose a guy in 20 days? Kate Hudson recently said, all that matters would be the script and if Matthew and I would be into the script. She did say in the same interview with whoever that Matthew McConaughey and her are interested in doing a sequel together. I remember reporting here that Matthew McConaughey was interested in doing rom-coms again. And honestly, the rom-coms are fun. I liked How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. I don't care. I thought it was fun. I like Kate Hudson. And Matthew McConaughey is cool. But mostly Kate Hudson. Nothing's confirmed. They're just waiting on a good script. And apparently there's one in the works. What else is in the works? Another 24 movie with Kiefer Sutherland. And there's been a new vice president that's going to be J.D. Vance. And if you don't know, he wrote a memoir which became a film. I don't know anything about J.D. Vance except for this film. And even though I'm very, very anti-Trump, I think it's kind of cool that... No, it's not cool. Cool's the wrong word. If you're interested in your future vice president, because I think we all know who's going to win, he wrote a memoir once, and it was made into a movie called Hillbilly Elegy. I never know if I'm pronouncing that word right. Apparently, it won Razzies for... The Razzies is bad. Those are bad awards. And it was low rated online. I remember telling this show, like, I heard bad things, but I thought the movie was pretty good. So maybe he'll be a pretty good vice president. Next. Old Guard 2 is coming. They're filming it right now. The Emmy nominations have been dropped. I'm not going to go over each one like I usually do. You know why? Because I fucking hated the selection. The Bear is not good right now. All right? The Bear is a great show. But this season sucked, and it got nominated for everything. And it's the same fucking shows got nominated, man. So many weren't. So maybe at the at the Emmy, I'll do an Emmy episode, and we'll give out our own Emmys to the snubbed. But the Emmys will be happening September 15th at 8 p.m. only on ABC. Probably be streaming on something too. If you have Verizon, boy, do I got a deal for you. If you have Verizon and you purchase Peacock for a year, Peacock Premium for a year, you'll get Netflix Premium for a year for free. That's right. You heard it here first. For a limited time only. I do not work for Verizon, but I do have Verizon. I'm not jumping on this deal because I don't know. I don't know if I think it's an excellent deal. It's like a $275 savings deal. That's only though if you use Peacock. I don't use Peacock that much though, so I don't know. But that's something that you should look into if you're interested. Next. Something very bad is going to happen. It's going to involve the Duffer Brothers as they executive produce a TV show. What's it called? Something very bad is going to happen. Created by Hillary? What's her name? Haley Z. Boston. The series' official logline makes a cheeky reference to its title. Something very bad is going to happen is an atmospheric horror series set at a wedding following a bride and groom in the week leading up to their ill-fated nuptials. Huh. So it doesn't tell you what it's about except a wedding and that it's horror related. And the Duffer Brothers, if you don't know who they are, you're like, what the fuck? Why are you talking about this? They do Stranger Things. I don't care what anyone says about Stranger Things. I've had a lot of problems with Stranger Things, but it's overall like, it's so good at referencing Goonies and adventure movies and Dungeons and Dragons and all this. It's so good at being an homage to those things while still being an original story as well. It reminds me of like Shaun of the Dead. Like it's so original, but so good. So I really dig the Duffer Brothers and I'm excited to see what they're going to do next. Even though they're executive producing this next series and they're not writing and directing, I'm still interested in this show, but I'm really interested to see what they're going to do writing and directing wise. Next, you know, there's an Alien Romulus movie. Well, there's also an Alien TV show, and they released the title. It's going to be called Alien Earth. I don't know if I like the idea of Alien on Earth. Of course, I don't in real life, but I don't know if I like it from a cinematic standpoint because I don't know. They might Hollywood it up so much it might suck. But Noah Hawley, who's most famous for Fargo, and I really enjoyed Legion. He's an excellent writer. A little pretentious in the fashion of, look at this weird thing that happened. And you're like, well, what does it mean? His answer will be, well, you know, it's whatever you want to think it means. Like, I think he's a little pretentious, but I do think that he's a pretty good writer, specifically after watching Legion. He has a really good way of making things come around Charlie's Angels full throttle. And I don't know when this show is coming out, but I don't think it's in relation to the Alien Romulus film. It is confirmed to be a prequel to the original 1979 Ridley Scott's Alien. A prequel? How are they going to do that if it's called Alien Earth and it's a prequel? Sounds like a Prometheus situation. I'm not sure. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. As always, if you're commenting, I'm not seeing it because something's wrong with StreamYard. I think you should sit with Tim Robinson. Remember, I think you should leave, the really excellent sketch show I told you to watch on Netflix right now, starring and written by Tim Robinson, who is in Planet Ant native, Planet Ant being in Hamtramck, which we have watch parties every Saturday at 10:30 p.m. Well, apparently he's not working on the next season of I Think You Should Leave. He probably will do it after he's done with this series, which is called Chair Company. He will star in the pilot, and the log line is, after an embarrassing incident at work, a man finds himself investigating a far-reaching conspiracy. And it's at a chair company. So it sounds like Tim Robinson humor. Next, there is going to be a season 3 of The Terror. I know I talked about The Terror not recently, but a long time ago when season 2 was out. I told you guys, watch season 1, watch season 1. It's an anthological season by season anthology where the first season takes place on a ship during the 1700s, 1800s, early 1900s. That's how terrible I am with history. It took place from way back in the day, and they are explorers. They get stuck in some ice, and they're being hunted by a creature. Season 2 is very different, taking place during Pearl Harbor. I'm not sure. Whatever. You get it. Each season's different. I didn't finish season 2, but season 1 is where it's at. They are making season 3 that's going to star Dan Stevens. He's doing really good right now. He's playing a man who finds himself wrongfully committed to New Hyde Psychiatric Hospital in Queens. There he must contend with patients who work against him, doctors who harbor grim secrets, and perhaps even the very devil himself. Oh, wow. That was a really good time for that to show up. I kind of fucked up that delivery. So is the devil going to be in this? Who knows? Probably. That'd be cool. The show is dope. Even season 2, I found a little boring from the episodes that I watched. I think the concept's fun, and I love that it could be entirely different stories. This one is based off of a book, so I think that's really, really cool. Oh, there's more. As Pepper navigates a hellscape where nothing is as it seems, he finds the only path to freedom is to face down the entity which thrives on the suffering within New Hyde's walls. But doing so may prove that the worst demons of all live inside him. That was too long of a log line. It was a bunch of gibberish. Apparently the devil's going to be in this. That's all you need to know. Other news, Halo got canceled, but you can still watch the first 2 seasons on Apple TV+. And Loot Season 3 has been greenlit, so go Maya Rudolph. What trailers should you watch? The Deliverance, A Different Man, and Pizza Party Massacre. That's all I'll say. You should watch those. All right, here's what I'm watching right now that you may not be watching, that I'm watching. Here's one. Oh, shit. Oh, what? Oh, this might not be good. This might not be good. This might not be good. Oh, no, it'll be fine. I just got to riff a little bit because I forgot to add the other slide. Stand by. So, the things that I'm watching right now are, I'll say it real quick. House of the Dragon. They have scenes I like, but the series in general, I just don't like it compared to Game of Thrones. And even though there was one thing that happened in the end of this show that involved Rhaenyra, the girl far to your right, Rhaenyra and someone else that I was pleasantly surprised at towards the end of the movie. Or, I'm sorry, towards the end of the episode. Daemon is still in Harrenhal, just fucking tripping balls. Apparently, this season is 40 pages of the book. No wonder there's so much fill-in talking bullshit. It's so boring. It's so boring. But this episode was better than last week for a couple reasons that I won't get into because I don't want to ruin it for you. Next. I didn't watch Presumed Innocent. I missed it this week. But The Boys. Holy shit. Best season finale that they've had. Let's go over the characters from left to right. Starlight, I like where she ends up because she gets her, because something about powers happens. Homelander, he's on top of the world, as one may say. Victoria Newman, she's half in her game, half out. Soldier Boy gets a wink. Black Noir. I don't know if they showed Black Noir again. I don't remember what happened with Black Noir. Oh, I remember. Yeah, good shit with Black Noir. It's so stupid that I'm saying this. If you don't watch the show, you're like, well, what the fuck are you talking about? Butcher is a butcher in this episode. Holy shit. Super dope. And Kimiko and Frenchie have a very romantic scene together. And Kimiko has a very big scene at the very end of the show. Something that we've been waiting for a very long time. And I hope that they explore a lot more in the final season of The Boys. That's right. Eric Kripke, the showrunner / creator of the series, has announced that the next season will be the last. And this is a really good tee up for that. So if you haven't watched the show yet and you're interested, I've talked about it at length. You should watch it. It's called The Boys. It's on Prime. Super fun, super violent, super cool. And that's really all I have to say about it. Honorable mentions of things that came out that I did not watch that you might want to watch. Those About to Die on Peacock, Cobra Kai on Netflix, Hit Monkey on Hulu, Snowpiercer on AMC+, Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 3 on Max, and did I fuck that up? Oh, my bad. That's the original Snowpiercer. That's Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 3, and My Spy: The Eternal City, which you can watch on Prime. I really wanted to watch this. I just did not have time. The whole reason that this show is on so late right now is because I did not have time. But the show must go on, and indeed we do. And indeed we did. My word's slurring for some reason. I promise I ain't drinking. I also listened to Gambino's new album. Oh, PopCorn Poppin. You know what's poppin'? The Lithonia music video. Check it out. It's a little short and it's great. It's very unexpected. Check it out. Bando Stone in the New World's coming out later on this year. What are we watching this week? It's happening, guys. Deadpool and Wolverine coming out Thursday. I'm seeing it at 3 o'clock with Lil Fuzzy Josh Anderson. Super excited. If you want to catch up on it, the X-Men animated series, the X-Men Evolution series, the X-Men 97 series, all the X-Men movies, all the Deadpools, and all the Wolverines are on Disney+. I watched it all except for X-Men Evolution. Right now I'm in the middle of Deadpool. I am going to watch Deadpool 2, and the final movie I have to watch is Dark Phoenix, which I never finished. But I watched all the TV shows minus Evolution, and yeah, all of the X-Men movies. Super fun to go through the X-Men movies, though. And they're very different from each other besides 1 and 2. Really. And Logan, so good. So well made. Chef's kiss. Very excited to see what these two are going to do. Poppin' forecast. I think this movie's going to be amazing. I think it's going to be super fun. I don't think we're going to have any answers to where the MCU is going to go, but this is a perfect movie to do it. It's a perfect movie to have an end credit scene that shows a proper reset. And I think that this movie could be the reset. I don't need it to be. I just want it to be fun. And I think Hugh Jackman came to have fun. And I think Ryan Reynolds is really going to respect that. So catch up on it. Next week, we're probably just going to talk X-Men movies as the topic of the evening. But if you want to catch up, Disney Plus. And if you haven't yet, buy your tickets to Deadpool and Wolverine this week. They also got a bucket as well. Other movies that are coming out in theaters are Fabulous 4. So if you're an older woman, you'll probably want to go see this. It tells us, or if you want to take your mom or something, it tells the story of two friends. It's like four friends who travel to be bridesmaids in a surprise wedding of their college girlfriend. It stars Bette Midler, Cheryl Lee Ralph, Susan Sarandon, and Megan Mullally. Mullally. Another movie, Dee Dee. If you check out the trailer, it's a really nice looking independent coming of age film. I don't want to watch it, but maybe you do. In 2008, during the last month of summer before high school begins, an impressionable 13-year-old Taiwanese American boy learns what his family can't teach him: how to skate, how to flirt, and how to love your mom. What? Anyways, next. Humane is streaming on Shudder Friday. I had talked about this film before. It takes place over a single day. Mere months after a global ecological collapse has forced world leaders to take extreme measures to reduce the Earth's population. And that is, they're looking for family members of families to volunteer to be murdered to help fix the population of the Earth. I don't know the specifics of the film, but it looks pretty interesting. And it does have Jay Baruchel. I'm down. You can check it out on Shudder Friday. In television news, Futurama returns on Hulu the 29th, which is Monday, right? Yeah, next Monday. So I will try to watch this. I didn't finish last new season because I wasn't a big fan, but I will continue because I think that the show, I need more of that, those episodes like when Lilo was freaking out after Fry died. I want like crazy episodes like that. Or, you know, the dead dog. I don't need to see dead dogs. I'm just saying the dead dog episode was like, you know, really good. So Futurama coming back next Monday. You can catch up on Futurama in its entirety on Hulu right now. Time Bandits. There was a weird movie starred, directed by Terry Gilliam called Time Bandits. I didn't love it, but I owned it when I was a kid. I watched it like 2 or 3 times to understand what is likable about it. I really didn't like it. It made me feel uncomfortable. The trailer for this show looks very different from the movie, vibe-wise. It's definitely geared more towards kids in a less weird fashion. But what makes me want to watch it is Taika Waititi and Jermaine Clement from Flight of the Conchords. But the Taika and Jermaine are the team that brought you What We Do in the Shadows. They're bringing Time Bandits, so I'm a little more interested. This will be on Apple TV Plus Wednesdays. I don't know. I will watch the first episode of this, but if you want to watch something raunchy that happens in Victoria Age, kind of something that looks very similar to The Favorite or The Great, check out the Decameron trailer, which is set in 1348 during the Black Death, the deadliest pandemic in human history. Explores the timely themes of class systems, power struggles, and survival in a time of a pandemic. It sounds really serious, but this is a comedy, like hard comedy. This is on Netflix Thursday. And finally, Tokyo Swindlers. I think it's about a heist for like 10 billion yen. I watched the trailer. I was like, this looks actually really, really entertaining. Yeah. So what will I be watching this week? I will be watching Deadpool and Wolverine, which is going to be in theaters Thursday. Humane, which is going to be dropping on Shudder Friday. Futurama, which is going to be on Hulu Monday. And Time Bandits, which is going to be on Apple TV Plus Wednesday. Oh, and the Decameron on Netflix Thursday. And you know what? I might watch an episode of Tokyo Swindlers as well. All right, that is it. Well, not technically. I guess I could answer some poppin' questions, as it were. What the fuck? I know I have some. Where are they? What type of food would I be? I were to be a food, what type of food would I be? Well, my favorite food is cheeseburgers. I love cheeseburgers. But looking at me, I look like a dirty toothpick, so I will say a churro. I feel like I'd be a churro. I look like a churro. Next. Finally, if I would be one or the other, who would I be? Wolverine or Deadpool? I'd probably be Deadpool. I'm pretty sarcastic. I think I make way too many quips. Watching Deadpool, fun. I love Ryan Reynolds and I love the movie, but you do want him to be for real every once in a while just to be more of a character. Like when he gets tortured and shit, you're like, okay, I actually kind of dig this because you're being human and normal for a second, not just quip, even though that's what Deadpool is. But I would be Deadpool. I've got Wolverine's grumpiness though. I think I'm Deadpool slowly turning into Wolverine. Thank you very much for watching, folks. Comment, like, subscribe, share. Look at that. Maybe this timer worked. We made it well under an hour. Thank you very much, guys. I really appreciate it. We will see more cool stuff. We got the short. If you're interested in Watch Party this week, we're going to be watching Tales from the Crypt Saturday at 10:30 p.m. at the Black Box Theater in Hamtramck. Brought to you by Planet Ant and yours truly. Josh, the Do-Man Doer, will be hosting. I will be working the booth, but it's still going to be dope. We're going to be watching an episode that's directed by Arnold Schwarzenegger. Who knew? I didn't. But come to Watch Party this Saturday. Come back here next Monday at 7 p.m. sharp. We'll be talking about Deadpool and Wolverine. Thank you very much. Good night and good